What's up, sexy YouTubers and gaming enthusiasts out there? My name is Red and Black Gamer, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my rundown / analysis on the newly announced Spider-Man game that was unveiled at Sony's E3 conference yesterday. And man, let me just say it's a good time to be a Spidey fan. With the great on-screen performance we've gotten from Spider-Man after he took his rightful place on Marvel Cinematic Universe's roster in Civil War and Kevin Feige giving him the proper treatment his movies deserve, I can honestly say we're winning. And I know some will agree to disagree, but I think we can all say that it's a step in the right direction. Because let's just face it, some of us have been going through franchise fatigue with all these short-lived Spider-Man reboots to these movies and whatnot, and Spidey hasn't really been Marvel's flagship player like he was in his heyday. Sort of like how the X-Men aren't the most popular superhero team and the Avengers have sort of taken the throne. It's been roughly around 2 years since we've gotten a Spider-Man title, and it's usually because these games annually come out around the time a new movie is set to hit theaters. Now with that said, there was some consistency with the releases for the original Spidey games such as Ultimate Spider-Man, Friend or Foe, Web of Shadows, and Edge of Time. Each of these original titles were developed a year apart from each other, and they all introduced fresh gameplay elements to complement their respective stories. Activision has been at the publishing helm of these releases while they were developed by their subsidiary developers Treyarch and Beenox. Treyarch would usually handle the development for the primary console versions of the games, while Beenox would mostly handle the PC ports. Eventually, Activision would allow Beenox to fully develop the later Spidey titles like Shattered Dimensions and Edge of Shadows, and the movie-based Spider-Man games like Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. But enough of the history behind the developers. This go around we have a new development team working on these new titles, and the biggest surprise about this game is that it will only be available on the PlayStation 4. You heard it right, Sony is giving gaming fans the same treatment they've been giving moviegoers who've been wanting Spidey to share the screen with other Marvel characters. This is bittersweet news for some of the last gen and Xbox One and PC owners out there, but considering the fact that this E3, Sony had to take some power moves to hit Microsoft where it hurts, and man, talk about a kick in the scrotum, because for one, not only do you have a new Spider-Man title that's being fully developed on one console that isn't held back due to lesser consoles, but for the first time ever in Spider-Man gaming history, we're getting a critically acclaimed development team to work on our game. That's right, we have Insomniac Games manning the development helms for this title. And don't get it twisted, even though Insomniac has been a free agent team and sort of branched away from Sony, you can bank on them giving this game that Ratchet & Clank in-depth treatment. I mean, think about it, this could finally give Spider-Man games the treatment they deserve. We could be getting a potential Arkham-like Spider-Man gaming franchise where Insomniac fully grasps the concepts and fundamentals of what Spider-Man is. From looking at the visuals in the trailer, it looks like it's going to have a more realistic tone than we're accustomed to from Insomniac games. For those who are familiar with the development team, they know that Insomniac loves to go with that more wacky and cartoony aesthetic like games such as the Ratchet & Clank series and Sunset Overdrive. But this game has more of a realistic, gritty look, and it shows a lot of emphasis on the city of New York. I mean, just look at the steam and gritty textures on the building. This is probably the most detailed version of New York I've seen in gaming, let alone a Spider-Man game. The city has heart and it's very busy, unlike many of the previous titles, mainly the movie-based games. You have to admit, the movie games may have lacked story and visual fidelity, but they never shied away from free-roaming web-slinging around New York. Unlike the standalone titles that offered good story and gameplay mechanics but proved to be thread-based and linear when it came to getting from point A to point B. There are more cars and pedestrians in the streets, and it looks congested how it should be. This is something that the previous Spider-Man games have always suffered from due to the half-assness or hardware limitations from the heads at Activision, because they never tried to make it feel like the pedestrians are there. I think if they had this hardware back then when they were making the Spider-Man 2 the movie game, they would have been able to put forth more effort to give the streets of Manhattan more soul. Looking at this reminds me of one of those CG movies, kinda like the recently released Ratchet & Clank film. It just looks solid and crisp. But we'll have to see what the game looks like in real motion, because this trailer seems to be running at 24 frames at the least. Now the biggest thing people have been talking about in this trailer is Spider-Man's overall appearance, that being the costume. Now at first glance, my initial thoughts were that they were basing it off the look from the Captain America Civil War Spidey suit, or they could be alluding to the fact that this game is based around the movie for the 2017 film Spider-Man Homecoming. And that's simply because the mask features those mechanical eyes that we've just become accustomed to by the heads at Marvel Studios. If this game just so happens to be movie based, the costume featured in this trailer could just be a placeholder until we get the official look from the new Spider-Man Homecoming movie, which I'm assuming will be the same as the Captain America Civil War costume. I'm hoping that's not the case because the movie based games developers have minimal input on the story and they have to somewhat base it around the general gist of the movie's plot and villains. But while this suit is fresh on our minds, I thought I'd share with you guys some of the things that I've noticed about this busy get-up. So as mentioned earlier, this suit is rocking the express mechanical eyes that are highly inspired by the comic book artist Steve Ditko's Spider-Man. But there's more going on than we know. The suit seems to also be borrowing from other various styles of Spidey from recent cinematic films. Take a look at the shoes and gloves. When you look close enough, it looks like Insomniac is trying to mirror the look from Mark Webb's Amazing Spider-Man 1, where Peter Parker would have to use his soles from track shoes to suffice for boots to his costume. This made for a realistic approach since most teenagers wouldn't know how to make a flashy suit like that in real life. I'm getting the same vibe from the text on the gloves. Maybe he could have taken the rough patterning off the gloves and applied it to the spider tights. I'm just guessing. Now, the biggest elephant in the room that everyone including myself seems to be having a problem with about this costume is that obnoxiously big white Spider-Man symbol. It looks like it would be good if it were on a Venom suit, but this is the original suit. Now, I don't mind the symbol taking up the full chest and the back of the Spidey's outfit, but to color it white is so off-putting. It would have looked so much better if they just made the symbol black. And I know I'm reaching with this, but I'm gonna guess that they were reluctant to make the symbol black because it would look like a ballpark copy of the 2013 Superior Spider-Man costume. Just to give you guys a quick synopsis on what Superior Spider-Man is, it's basically just Spider-Man with Dr. Octopus's mind implanted into Peter Parker's body. He pretty much goes around proving how he's the superior Spider-Man New York needs and how he makes better decisions than Peter Parker ever could. This is one of my favorite Spider-Man stories because Dr. Octopus had to realize how strong Spider-Man was and how much Peter Parker had to hold back most of his strength because he could potentially fatally injure most of his foes. It made him more gracious considering the fact that Peter could have easily ended him with one punch if he wanted to. Anyways, like I said, I'm guessing that's why Insomniac didn't go with the overall superior Spider-Man look. I myself wouldn't have a problem with this decision because it could be symbolic to what they're doing with this game, which is giving us, the fans, the superior Spider-Man game we've been dreaming of. And another thing I think that they're trying to do with the symbol is pay homage to the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. If you look closely at this costume symbol and the Spider-Man logo they showed towards the end of the trailer, it bears quite a resemblance to the one we saw in the first live-action Spidey film. They're almost exact duplicates. And there's just one more thing I would like you guys to look at. In the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie, this symbol took up most of the chest area of the costume, similar to how this game's version is doing. I mean, I could be reaching with this, but Insomniac could possibly be paying tribute to 4 different Spider-Man movie costumes. That's just me though. But let's go ahead and move on to the gameplay. There are a lot of us who are somewhat unsure if the visuals presented in this trailer are actually in-game, but I thought I'd go ahead and do a little investigating for you guys, and that's when I came across a response tweet from Insomniac Games' official Twitter page. One follower tweeted, and I quote, "I'm begging you, Insomniac, make the actual game look this quote-unquote amazing." And from there, Insomniac replied, "That is the game." So there you have it, folks. I'm not sure if you should believe Insomniac or call their bluff, but at least you got it straight from the horse's mouth. From the looks of it, the gameplay seems to be showing off Insomniac's specialty, which is to showcase characters doing expressive movements in parkour-like environments. We see Spidey running on tables in restaurants and what I'm guessing will play as a sort of free-flow running mechanic of some sort. And we see him showcasing some of his graceful web-slinging maneuvers where it looks like they'll be using true web mechanics similar to Spider-Man 2 the game movie. We also see Spider-Man stylishly stopping thugs in dangerous car chases, which is nothing really new, but I like the smooth execution that they're pulling off with it. Some of the major things I want to see executed properly in this game is a new fighting system built from the ground up that revolutionizes not only Spider-Man games, but games in general. That's what fans have come to love about Rocksteady's Arkham games, because so many other titles have tried to mimic it, but they always prove to do it the best. And let's see if we can get something that tops Spider-Man 2's upgrading system where we get upgradable combat moves, web combat, and web swinging speeds. And I'm also eager to see if they can top Beanox's web zipping system from the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. It's become one of the most innovative features in any Spider-Man game I played, and it literally makes the player feel as if they're swinging stylishly from building to building. Last but not least, we need some good boss battles because that seems to be lacking in all Spider-Man games. It's like you can see the potential there, but it's like the developers always miss their mark. But that's all I have for you guys today. What did you guys think about the trailer, and what details and Easter eggs did you find? Let me know in the comments section below, and as always, I ask that you like or dislike the video, as any feedback is good feedback. And if you're interested in seeing more videos like this one, subscribe to stay posted. Anyways, this is your boy Random Black Gamer signing out on another video. Peace out.